Hello, 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 hello.
All the best to you and all the best to us.
ते रिवाइज हे पण टाकले त्याच्यामध्ये शेड्यूल फक्त वरती ठेवू शेड्यूल वरती ठेवू त्याला खाली येतो Good morning. Good morning to one and all. Good morning to one and all. Today, we have all gathered here on the auspicious occasion of the Multidisciplinary National Conference and 39th Annual Conference of Council for Teacher Education Foundation. On behalf of Yashwantrao Saman, Maharashtra Open University, I welcome you all for this national conference. Welcome everyone. This conference is on inclusive and equitable education, preparing teachers for diversity in the light of NEP 2020. This conference is organized by School of Education, Yashwantrao Saman Maharashtra Open University, Nasik, in collaboration with Council for Teacher Education Foundation, CTEF. Before we begin any activity, we take the blessings of Almighty. I request all the dignitaries present here to light the lamp. We have amongst us Honorable Vice Chancellor of Yashwantrao Saman Maharashtra Open University, Professor Dr. Sanjeev Somani sir. Honorable Vice Chancellor of National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, NIPA, New Delhi, Professor Shashikala Vanzari Madam. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapith Pimpri Pune, Professor N.J. Pawar sir, Professor K.M. Bhandarkar sir, respected President, Council for Teacher Education Foundation, Professor Dr. Ycmou Bhagwati Madam, International Secretary General, Council for Teacher Education Foundation, Professor Dr. Jogendra Singh Bissin sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Ycmou, Professor Dr. Jaideep Nikam sir, respected Director, School of Continuing Education, Professor Sanjeevani Mole Madam, respected Director, School of Education, and Dr. Govind Katlakute sir, respected Registrar of Ycmou. Now I would like to request the respected dignitaries to light the lamp. Lighting the lamp fills the environment with good vibes and creates a sacred atmosphere. We are about to commence our event by lighting the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. This is a symbolic moment that signifies the dispelling of darkness and igniting of thought and enlightenment. Thank you. I thank all the dignitaries. Now I would like to request all the dignitaries to please come on the stage. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Ycmou, Professor Sanjeev Somani sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of NIPA, New Delhi, Professor Shashikala Vanzari Madam, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapith, Pimpri Pune, Professor N.J. Pawar sir, I request you to please come on the stage. Professor K.M. Bhandarkar sir, respected President, Council of Teacher Education Foundation, Professor Dr. Ycmou Bhagwati Madam, Professor Dr. Jogendra Singh Bissin sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Ycmou, Professor Dr. Jaideep Nikam sir, respected Director, School of Continuing Education, Ycmou, and Professor Sanjeevani Mole Madam, respected Director, School of Education, Ycmou. I would like to request Dr. Govind Katlakote sir. Okay, sir will be joining us soon. Once again, I welcome you all. Now, I request everyone to please stand for Vande Mataram. I again request everyone to please stand for the university song. I would like to request everyone to please be seated. Thank you. Once again, I welcome you all. Now, as we move forward with our program, we have amongst us Professor Dr. Sanjeevani Mahale Madam. She is the convener of this national conference and the director of School of Education, YCMU. Madam is also the inspiring personality who has taken immense efforts for this national conference to take place. Now, I would like to request Professor Dr. Sanjeevani Mahale Madam for the welcome address on this occasion.
Good morning to one and all. Respected Honorable Vice Chancellor on the dais, esteemed chief guest and keynote speaker, distinguished patrons, office bearers of CTF, and respected academician, educationist, researcher, dear delegates, scholars, students, ladies and gentlemen. On the behalf of Yashwantrao Chauhan Maharashtra Open University, Nasik, the School of Education and Council for Teacher Education Foundation, it gives me immense pleasure to extend warm and respectful welcome to all of you on this multidisciplinary national conference and 39th annual conference of CTEF, being held from 8 to 10 January 2026. We are honored to host this national academic gathering on this highly relevant and timely theme, that is inclusive and equitable education, preparing teachers for diversity in the light of NEP 2020. The National Education Policy 2020 gives the transformative shift in Indian education to placing equity, inclusion, flexibility, multidisciplinary learning, digital integration, Indian knowledge system, and holistic development at its core. In this context, teachers are the central pillar of the change. So, preparing teachers who are academically competent, socially sensitive, ethically grounded, and digitally empowered is essential for realizing the true spirit of NEP 2020. This conference has been designed a platform for reflection, dialogue, and innovation, b- bringing together academicians, teacher educators, researchers, practitioners from across the country to deliberate the critical issues uh, related to teacher education for diversity and inclusion educational practices. Yashwantrao Chauhan Maharashtra Open University, guided by its inspiring motto that is Jnana Ganga Gharoghari, has consistently worked towards the democratizing education through innovation, outreach, and technology learning, uh, enabled learning. YSMU has emerged as a leader open and distance education, ensuring access, equity, and equality of learners from diverse backgrounds. The School of Education, one of the pioneering school of the university, has played a historical role in teacher education, especially for in-service teachers, through flexible, learner-centered, and ICT-based integrated program, aligned with the national priorities. We are privileged to collaborate with Council for Teacher Education Foundation, a nationally and internationally respected professional body that has been working since 1985 for the professional and quality enhancement of teacher education. This 39 years academic journey of CTEF stands as testimony of his commitment to academic excellence, policy advocacy, and professional development in teacher education. We are deeply honored by the gracious presence of our chief guest, inaugural speaker, Professor Shashikala Vanjari, Vice Chancellor NUPA, New Delhi, who is visionary leadership and scholarly contribution has, have significantly influenced teacher education and educational planning in the country. We are equally privileged to with us Professor N.J. Pawar sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor D.Y. Patil University Pune. He is the keynote speaker who insight and enrich our academic deliberation. I sincerely acknowledge to constant guidance and support of our chief patron, Professor Sanjeev Sonone sir, and then Honorable Vice Chancellor Ycmou, along with the Professor K.M. Bhandarkar sir, National President of Ctef, Professor Nilima Bhagwati, International Secretary General, Ctef, who also extend our respectful regards to all. Professor Jogendra Singh Bisen, our Pro Vice Chancellor and patron of this conference, and Professor Jaideep Nikam sir, co-patron of this conference, registrar, directors, chairmen, and members of the advisory and the organizing committee. Over the next 3 days, this conference will include keynote address, memorial lectures, panel discussion, and technical paper presentation session, covering themes such as inclusive education, technology-enabled pedagogy, open and distance learning, holistic development, Indian knowledge system, sustainable development, and vision for Vikasit Bharat 2047. I am confident that this deliberation during this conference will lead to meaningful academic outputs, strengthening the professional collaboration, and contribute constructively to the effectiveness of implementing NEP 2020. Once again, I warmly welcome to all delegates, guests on this conference and wish you a productive, enriching, memorial academic experiences at Ycmou Nasik. Thank you very much. There is an election in Maharashtra, so most of the people are training and all these things. So we are doing a YouTube live for all this program. All our members are joined by online. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for such a warm welcome to everyone present over here. We are fortunate to have distinguished and eminent personalities as dignitaries for this national conference. We are honored to have you all over here. Let us begin by felicitating the dignitaries on the dais. I kindly request Professor Sanjeev Sonone sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University, to welcome respected Professor Shashikala Vanjari Madam on this occasion. Madam is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, NIPA, New Delhi, deemed to be university under Ministry of Education, Government of India. Prior to this, she was the Vice Chancellor of SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, Maharashtra. She has an extensive experience in the area of both higher education and school education, spanning 35 years of academic contribution, university administration, and management. You can see ma'am is being felicitated and welcomed with a beautiful memento, beautiful idol of Lord Vittal. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Now I request respected Professor K.M. Bhandarkar, sir, President Council of Teacher Education Foundation, to felicitate respected Professor Shashikala Vanjari, madam, on behalf of Council for Teacher Education Foundation. Yes. Okay. Now, ma'am is being welcomed by a traditional scarf, a beautiful traditional scarf by Bhagwati madam. Scarf from Assam. She is also being awarded
On behalf of Council for Teacher Education Foundation, we are announcing Award of Excellence in Teacher Education, and it is conferred on Honorable Vice Chancellor of NIPA, Professor Shashikala Vandari Madam. We know her contribution in the field of education and administration. Please read out the. Please read out the citation.
Award of Excellence in Teacher Education 2026 on behalf of the Council for Teacher Education Foundation and Ycmou Nasik. This award is hereby presented to Professor Shashikala G. Vanzari, Madam, Honorable Vice Chancellor, NIPA, New Delhi, under Ministry of Education, Government of India, in recognition of her unparalleled services being rendered in the field of education. Her profile, academic leadership and contributions: former Vice Chancellor, SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, former Professor and Head, PG Department of Education, RTM Nagpur University, led as Chairperson, Syllabus cum Textbook Development Committee for the National Curriculum Framework for Foundational Stage, member of several academic and professional bodies in educational administration and policy making, serving on government bodies of multiple central and state universities as a nominee of the regulatory authorities, authored books entitled Understanding Early Childhood Education and Education in Emerging India. Her teaching experience is 29 plus years and research experience is 16 plus years. Publications: 44 research papers and articles in reputed journals, delivered 250 plus academic lectures nationally and internationally. Okay, ma'am, thank you. Thank you so much. Now I kindly request Professor Sanjeev Sonone sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Ycmou, to welcome respected Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth, Pimpri Pune, Professor N.G. Pawar sir, by giving a traditional way of welcoming from Maharashtra, a traditional scarf, a calendar of Ycmou. Sir is the Vice Chancellor. He was the Vice Chancellor of Shivaji University, Kolhapur, and he has worked as a teacher, researcher, and academic administrator in professional career of over 35 years. As you can see, Professor Ram Thakole Smriti Gatha book is also being given to sir. Now I kindly, you can see a beautiful memento, an idol of Lord Vittal is being given to sir. Thank you, sir. Now I kindly request respected Bhandarkar sir to welcome respected Professor N.G. Pawar sir on behalf of CTAF. Yeah, definitely, sir. Pawar sir is being felicitated on behalf of CTF by Bhandarkar sir over here. A shawl, a memento, thank you, sir. Now I request Professor K.M. Bhandarkar sir to felicitate Professor Sanjeev Sonone sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Ycmou and the Chief Patron of this conference.
We are very happy to announce icon of teacher education. Council for Teacher Education. The award is conferred on Honorable Vice Chancellor,
As you can see, the award of excellence in education is being awarded to Professor Sanjeev Sonane sir by CTEF. I request you all to please give a big round of applause.
On behalf of entire city here,
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, ma'am. I kindly request Professor Sanjeev Sonane sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Ycmou, to felicitate respected Professor K.M. Bhandarkar sir, President Council for Teacher Education Foundation. As you all can see, sir is being felicitated over here. Thank you, sir. A beautiful memento is being given to Bhandarkar sir by Honorable Vice Chancellor Sonone sir from Ycmou. Thank you, sir. I now kindly request respected Professor Dr. Jogendra Singh Bisen sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Ycmou, to felicitate Professor Dr. Nilima Bhagwati Madam. She is the International Secretary General, Council for Teacher Education Foundation. A book, Professor Ram Thakule Smriti Gatha, a calendar of Ycmou. And Madam is being felicitated over here. Now, thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Now, on behalf of CTAF, I request respected Professor Dr. Nilima Bhagwati, madam, to felicitate respected Professor Dr. Jogendra Singh Bisen, sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Ycmou and the co-patron of this conference. I request Bhagwati, madam, to felicitate respected Bisen, sir. Yes. As you all can see, on behalf of CTA, Bhagwati Madam is felicitating Bisen sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Ycmou. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Now, on behalf of CTF, I request respected Bhagwati Madam to felicitate respected Professor Jaideep Nikam sir, Director School of Continuing Education of Ycmou and the co-patron of this conference. Sir is being felicitated, and from CTF, a book named My Mystic Mentor by Dr. Vij, written by Dr. Rashmi Khurana, is being given to sir. Again, on behalf of CTF, I request Bhagwati Madam to felicitate respected Professor Sanjeevani Mahale Madam, Director of School of Education of Ycmou, and the convener of this conference. Katlakute sir has not come yet. Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please be seated. Now, as we move forward with the program, let us see the corporate film of our university, Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University. I would like to mention over here that our university has a beautiful and a lush green campus. I request our AVC team to please play the film.
Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University. Objective: reaching the unreached strata of the society, thereby providing access to the higher education. Purpose: to cater to the educational needs of the disadvantaged sections of the society. Direction: to connect the education with individuals' development, thereby bridging the state's prosperity as well. Vision: to become a mass varsity. Established on such solid footholds in 1989, Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University has proven itself unique on almost all parameters of excellence. The glittering records of more than 35 years illustrates impressive figures like cumulative of more than 45 lakh students that include about 4 lakhs for agriculture education, development of various programs, networking through 8 regional centers, published over 2,800 academic titles, and produced more than 2,000 audio-video programs. There are 12 schools offering academic programs: the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, the School of Commerce and Management, the School of Sciences, the School of Education, the School of Continuing Education, the School of Health Science, the School of Computer Science, the School of Online Learning, the School of Multidisciplinary Studies, the School of Vocational Education and Skill Development, the School of Language, Literature, and Culture Studies, and the School of Agriculture Sciences. Krishi Vigyan Kendra is the project under Indian Council of Agriculture Research that targets rural farmers to update with the advanced farming techniques. Let us now take a quick tour of the divisional and centers at the university. The Student Services Division, the Examination and Evaluation Division, the Administration Division, the Finance Division, the Center for Internal Quality Assurance, the Computer Center, the Print Production Center, Library and Resource Center, the Audio Video Center, and the Students Welfare Center. Professor Ram Takavle Research and Development Center, Yash Center for Innovation, Incubation, and Linkages. Another feature like development of programs for police administration, military jawans, housemaids, minority group of power loom workers exhibit uniqueness of the university. As an attempt of inclusive education, this university has involved employees in a deprived category for their further education. The visually and physically challenged students are in the university dynasty as well. To support the state government movement for preparing students for the civil services space for the pre-IAS center, digital literacy scheme has been launched under Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan. Special facility of education to the prisoners has given the university an exceptional identity. Yashwantrao Chauhan Maharashtra Open University is the first university to launch interactive web radio.
महाराष्ट्र मुक्त विद्यापीठाच्या यशवाणीमध्ये आपल्या सर्वांचं मनापासून स्वागत.
This inter-university state-level cultural event Indradhanushya in 2018 is noteworthy achievements of the university. This university works in association with multiple organizations. Unlike all other universities in the state, this university has adapted self-supportive finance model. The university has set up Yashwantrao Chauhan Smriti Sangrahalaya in the memory of great architect of modern Maharashtra, Yashwantrao Chauhan. The then Governor of Maharashtra and Chancellor of the universities, Honorable Shri Ramesh Bais, visited the Ycmou. The extension of training activities for tribal development carried by Ycmou were appreciated by the Chancellor. The Commonwealth of Learning, Canada, has awarded excellence to this university twice. This is an addition to several national and state level honors. The Ycmou has secured fourth rank under Swachh Campus ranking of higher educational institutions. Since 2019, in the category of non-residential university under UGC awarded by Ministry of Human Resource Development, New Delhi. The university has secured national award for the highest enrollment under Academic Bank of Credit facility in Maharashtra state. In addition, the university has uploaded large quantum of data on DigiLocker, thereby providing digital access and security. This distinct has made the university an idol for others and a role model as well. Quality education with needful content at affordable fees, easy access at every nook of the state.
Yshwantrao Chauhan Maharashtra Open University Nashik with the slogan of Jnanaganga Garogari means knowledge at doorstep. With this commitment of the slogan, the Yshwantrao Chauhan Maharashtra Open University had provided opportunity to the youngsters, workers, jawans, and so many areas who unable to complete their higher education through the regular mode. And I am happy to share with you that the 45 lakh students up till now completed their higher education with the open and distance learning mode through the Ycmou. Skill development programs under the SCLIC program, which is especially based on the skill development. Now this year 70,000 students had completed the CLIC program, and they will get an opportunity to work in various areas of skills in the market where they want to pursue their career. Another thing is that the gelmets, we have substantially jumped the number tenfold this year, and that is 7,218 this year as special efforts. This year, the university had taken with the jail administration. Through this, also the Naxalist youths from the Gadchilori and that area, 7,000 youths from the Naxalist areas, they are completing their higher education through the police station centers of a Ycmou to pursue their higher education so that they will be mainstreamed afterwards. This year, the university had entered into the MOU with the Nava Seva Bandar, that is a Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, to provide and upgrading the skilled workers for the port, which is built in a Vadvan near Palghar from this year. And skill development center for the port we had established with this through the MOU, and more than 3 lakh skilled manpower or human capital will be created, which will be specially utilized to build this port and also commission this port up to 2030. All the curricula of a Ycmou of undergraduate and postgraduate has been revised according to the NEP 2020, and every degree, every certificate will have a component of skill development. Short-term courses like foreign languages also introduced. The farmers also one of the area where this is the only the traditional university having a Krishi Vigyan Kendra. Through that, 20,000 farmers are skilled, trained for the upskilling in the farming, like a mushroom production, then madhumakshi training, goat training in an advanced way, in a scientific way, so that they can create their own businesses along with the farming. The nursery management is the one of the key course which has changed the economy of the farmers around the Nashik district. In future, the university is going for a online education, so that the with the advanced technology we can launch so many courses through it. And now the one of the important aspect of a 100 days program, one of the program of a 100-day program of a Honorable Chief Minister, that is a Swayam Mahaswayam program, which will be provide the Maharashtra's higher education students of all universities the online MOOC programs. With this, university is progressing and giving opportunity, providing opportunity to the needies who are really want to pursue their higher education where they are at their own pace, at their own time, with an affordable cost.
Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University, the real Midas touch for people seeking knowledge.
I thank our AVC team for showing us this film on this occasion. Now, as we move ahead with our program, I request Bhandarkar sir, President Council for Teacher Education Foundation, to express his views on this occasion.
Greetings to all of you on behalf of the Council for Teacher Education Foundation, an organization having 22 state and union territory chapters and 10,000 life members throughout India and outside India also, in Nepal, in Singapore, and likely to be established in Thailand and Bhutan. So it is an international organization and it is working from 1985. This organization was founded by Dr. Gulab Chaurasia sir. Secretary General Madam will inform you more about the working of this CTEF. I am here to welcome Professor Sanjeev Sanwane sir, President of this inaugural ceremony, and very able Vice Chancellor. Previously, he was Pro Vice Chancellor in Pune University, and there also he organized the conference very nicely. And let me inform you that this conference was organized at Ycmou in 2004, some 21 years back, and it was 16th conference of the organization. We are very much thankful to Professor Shashikala Vanjari Madam, whose presence has made this conference truly national. We have privilege to honor her with the award of excellence in teacher education. Her services to teacher education are really remarkable. Then we are very much privileged to be here with our keynote speaker, Professor N.J. Pawar sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil deemed to be University, Pune. Pro Vice Chancellor Bisen sir is with us. Nikam sir is present here. And Mahalle madam, whose untiring efforts have made this event possible. We are thankful to Gaikwad madam for her coordination. She acted as CTF coordinator. Our friend Gulane sir, Saxena sir, Ycmou sir, and all esteemed present here. Actually, our organization is totally trying for welfare of teachers. Welfare of teacher, teachers' welfare is nation's welfare is our logo. And the founder president has established this organization with the sole aim of uplifting school education and higher education. He was totally concerned with quality of education. And if we look at his contribution, he was actually first Indian to become chairman of the World Council for Curriculum and Instruction with headquarters at New York. He was Director Public Instruction, Madhya Pradesh government. Then he was founder principal of Regional College of Mysore, then Regional College of Bhopal. And he tirelessly worked for the welfare of teachers. Totally dedicated person. One of his aim was to establish Indian Education Service, IES, that remains unfulfilled. I appeal to the dignitaries present here to please support this organization for achieving this goal. Actually, IES is to be established on the lines of IFS, IPS, IAS, and IMS is also in pipeline, Indian Medical Service. So actually, establishment of IES was assured in 1986 policy. Then Janardhan Reddy committee also supported that proposal and recommended for its establishment, but still it is not established. Especially on behalf of CTF, Madam was also a part and parcel of this organization. We earnestly request her to please take over this issue because she is working in Delhi and directly with central government. So this is very much good opportunity for us. Friends, quality of education, as far as I will take 2 minutes only, as far as quality of education is concerned, my revered Guru Dr. Chaurasia was deeply concerned, and there is a saying that if you wish to destroy any country, you don't need nuclear bombs. You don't need long range or short range missiles also. Let the standard of education go down, and what will be the product of such education system? Buildings and bridges will collapse at the hands of such architects and engineers. Money will be lost at the hands of such accountants. Patient will die at the hands of such doctors. Justice will be denied at the hands of such judges. And above all, generations will get spoiled at the hands of such teachers. So this is actually importance of quality. And if quality is not there, then no nation can progress. And teacher is the only person who will play pivotal role in achieving quality. My Guru, principal of Regional College, Dr. Rajput once went to Japan for an educational event. और उन्होंने पूछा कि भाई आपका देश तो मटियामेट हो गया था, जापान 1945 में, सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर में, तो आप फिनिक्स पक्षी की भांति बाहर निकले, एंड यू आर नाउ डेवलप्ड कंट्री, सो व्हाट इज द सीक्रेट ऑफ योर प्रोग्रेस? व्हाट ही आंसर्ड, वी ट्रस्टेड आवर टीचर्स. So that should be the actually key point when we are considering this NEP 2020. Unless and until our teachers are well equipped, skilled, and totally dedicated. Third one is very much deficient. We need totally dedicated teachers. That can only help us. So at the end, I would like to express my gratitude towards all of you for making this event successful. मैं केवल एक ही बात कहूंगा, हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एक और पॉइंट है, एक डिमांड है, वी शुड एस्टेब्लिश नेशनल फंड फॉर टीचर्स. CSR भी आप डाइवर्ट कर सकते, गवर्नमेंट भी कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकती है, सोशल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकती है, बट देयर इज ए नीड टू एस्टेब्लिश national fund for teachers, right from primary teacher to university teacher. That is need of the hour. And as far as NEP 2020 is concerned, if our teachers are dedicated, we are confident that this policy will bring lot of changes in this country. विवेकानंद जी ने जो कहा था, दो पंक्तियों के साथ मैं अपने विचार खत्म करूंगा. उन्होंने कहा कि सच्चा नास्तिक वह नहीं होता जो भगवान पर भरोसा नहीं करता. सच्चा नास्तिक वह नहीं होता जो भगवान पर भरोसा नहीं करता. सच्चा नास्तिक वही है जो अपने आप पर भरोसा नहीं करता. सो लेट बी कॉन्फिडेंट. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, sir, for expressing your views on this occasion. Now, I request Professor Dr. Nilima Bhagwati Madam, International Secretary General, Council for Teacher Education Foundation, to give the introduction of CTF over here.
सभी को सुप्रभातम and namaste. Let me first congratulate Ycmou Vice Chancellor for giving us the privilege to view both audio and visual about the works, the excellent works they have done all throughout and in his term also in this university. Myself to give my opinion about it, as soon as I entered the gate on the very first day, I was highly impressed because of the excellent greenery all around. And when I came more deeper into it, then I have seen the wonderful people over here they are dedicated to. And when I contacted the Vice Chancellor, I can see his devotion, I can see his dedication to take and lift up this university. So congratulations to you, Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and really God bless you and God bless the entire fraternity of Ycmou. Coming to the CTF, our President Vandakarji, he has already given. I will just not describe much, but tell you about it. With the blessings of Bharat Mata, as he said, it was established in 1985. Just a handful of eminent educationists, very few. As I heard from Chaurasia sir long time back when I met him for the first time in 86 in Kurukshetra University, he said that it is the work, but now it is gradually growing up. So by 2000, the members were enrolled like anything. And a concept came to his mind that we should think about establishing chapters in Bharat, in our country. So with that concept, first came out few chapters. Kerala was there, Maharashtra was there, Punjab was there, and Assam was there. So with the beginning of these 4 to 5 chapters, now we have 22 chapters. Our founder president, you have come to know, he was Dr. Gulab Chorosiaji. Though he is no more with us or not in our presence now, but his presence is felt in each and every annual conferences, each and every and always. He was a person who could build his dreams into reality. So, such a person was the founder, president of CTEF. Then came from Punjab, a very dear and very loving Dr. Debraj Vij. I think most of you know or heard about him. Then, right now, our existing president is sitting over there, and he is playing a very good role and leadership to take up to enhance again our CTEF. Now, we have 22 chapters, and to look after these 22 chapters, we have 4 zonal chairperson. We have only 1 president in CTF, and the rest we call chairperson. Now we have in the North Zone chairperson, Dr. Senator Dilozi. We have in the South like that. We have in the East, and we have in the West. And in the West, we have the chairperson, your Honorable Vice Chancellor, and all our we admire him always for his works. He is over there. And every CTF zone and the chapters, 22 chapters, are given the autonomy to do something for the best upliftment of our teachers, right from the foundation stage up to the higher level. That is, we call it the school education, the higher education, and teacher education. So when CTE was first, the word was coined, it was called CTE, that is Council for Teacher Education. But in the year 2009, it was re-registered, and we had to put the word foundation. So it became Council for Teacher Education Foundation. So right now, that is the status of our year. But what kind of works, like the Secretariat, I should say, given me the power to establish it in our Vandakarji, in Guwahati, because of my hometown. So it is running from there, from Guwahati. And we are taking up a number of works. First, it was for the teachers. Now, some of the chapters are working on these 3 pillars we have in the education field. One, the teacher, one, the students, and other one are the parents. So like Assam chapter, we started first that why not provide guidance and counseling for the student community and the awareness program. So that was started, and some of the chapters are doing it now. Secondly, the parenting skill and the parents' awareness about their children, about what they're doing, how far they are keeping relation with the teachers, etc., etc. All these are being done. And third, is the first one, are the teachers. The teachers are the architect of the nation. We all know it. Vandakaji already said about the teachers, what quality the teachers should have. Now, we are also organizing FDP. We are also doing interactive programs. And we are also taking up certain issues in several chapters regarding what they need, the need-based teacher education programs. And with the coming up of NEP, with the blessings I have received as I was, and I'm still associated with the NEP as National Focus Member 2020. So I was asked, not only me, we all 25 persons, that they should do something in awareness of national education policy. So that part is also taken up by a number of CTF chapters. And I would like to just tell you, in 175 institutions, both school and colleges and universities, I have developed this awareness program, and still lot to to be done. And I think by 26, I can complete those. So this is being taken up. Again, when I come to the what kind of benefits we are giving to the enrolled members and to the others of the education fraternity. So for them, we have the journal. We have newsletter. Most of the chapters are publishing the newsletters throughout the year, what they are doing. And in 2004, just yesterday, I took up this matter with my friend, Sasi Gatkar, that in 2004, when Chaudhry requested, the first goodwill mission and teacher exchange program was taken to Dhaka. So that was followed by next one to Punjab, and another one was done in our northeast region, which is now called Ashtalakshmi by our Honorable Prime Minister, sir, in Manipur. So like this, whenever our chapters, they feel that we can do the teacher education program for exposures, positive exposures, and to adopt the best practices. So they are at liberty to do it. So that is also being taken up. And another work which we have started, that is like what we do when we are, for your information, let me tell you, like Assam, we are now in the Silver Jubilee year. It was established in the year 2000, and we have already started our programs. So one of the good thing you would just like to hear, that the Assam government has approached us and they requested us if we can train the school children, the school students under Samagra Shiksha, under Samagra Education Shiksha. So a MOU was signed up just last month. So after election, hopefully from the month of May, in April we're having the election, state election. So from May we are going to start our training programs, even including the CRCC and including right from the foundation to the secondary stage. So this is one of the new we have taken up. Then coming up to books publication, we published one book, and others also have done quite a lot. Practically the Kerala chapter, they have published a number of books, they published a number of journals. So like we wrote a book, some of our members, Reimagining Education Beyond. Reimagining Education Beyond, and that was being also accepted by the teachers in all the schools and colleges. So that is giving up now. For another, again, a good year, like when I was in Thailand last year in 25 and went to BRU University, they gave me a proposal that if we can do collaboration with CTEF. So that is coming up. Last year I couldn't, practically in 25, I was held up with little bit of my medical problems. So in 26, we are going to do the MOU with BRU Thailand to do the collaborations, and particularly even to see the research methodology and also to see the publication of other books and journals, etc., besides taking also classes. They also asked me that can you all, when your members can they take classes? I said, obviously they can take classes. So some of the ideas they opened up in front of us, and that will be done. And there's another country just beside our NE, which is Bhutan. And Bhutan also we are trying to establish. And I had a just very brief discussion with Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Professor Sanjeev sir, that if we can do something in Sri Lanka in 26. So these are in the pipeline, and hopefully I think we are going to fill up our, our dreams will be turned into reality by making our network. Regarding, he said very correctly, we have in Nepal, it is doing well. And another one we opened in Dhaka in Bangladesh in 2004 when we went there. But what happened, it could not do any work actively, and for some reasons or the others, that became, we couldn't continue that. So we are trying to do our best to make a network of teachers in collaboration with CTF so that we can grow more and more network and do the best to give the best justification to the services, to the career, whatever it comes, to our teaching community along with others. I think there are a lot more. I will not take time. I'm just looking at director, because my time was only 5 minutes, but I have crossed the time. I have crossed the time. But I do hope, would like to make one collaboration. It is already done, and to come here and again, CTF, if the permission is given by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, that, and it will be a very good exposure, and we can practice all the best things which I have seen here, as I told you in the very beginning. So our teachers would also get exposed, right, in the higher education side. I think with these words, I should just wind up. I have taken, excuse me for the bit little time, but I hope please make this conference very effective, very successful, so that each one of us from here, we can carry the key messages to our respective states and to our respective institutions also. This is actually what we want and what we wish. And I invite you all on behalf of me to any of the conferences which will take place in future in 26. Please do come and join us in all the conferences in future, so that we can learn lots of things from you, and also keep not only our friendship, but also to carry the courage, the boldness, and the strength, the mental strength to work for the teachers of this beautiful country. With this words, I interrupt, and I thank you all for inviting me and the galaxy of the renowned educationists who are sitting here. We need their blessings, we need your guidance, and we also need the suggestions from time to time how to go up in school education, also in higher education in future. And all the wonderful participants who are here today, I really thank you all for being here and joining us, and we hope we'll meet again and again. This is the first meet for me, many of you, but it is going to continue, and I give you this word. With these words, I thank you all, namaste to all, and to make these 3 days very effective. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, madam, for telling us in detail about Council for Teacher Education Foundation and the different activities carried out by CTF. Thank you once again. Now, as we move forward in our program, it gives me an immense pleasure to introduce Professor Shashikala Vanzari, madam. Okay, ma'am, we'll move forward. Yes, actually, there is a lot of madam to tell you all about her, but as we are over here to listen to her without taking much of your time, I would like to request madam for the inaugural speech.
Namaskar. Honorable President of this inaugural function and Honorable Vice Chancellor of Ycmou, Professor Sanjeev Sonone, another Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor N.J. Pawar, Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil University, my friends and office bearer of CTF, Professor Nilima Bhagwati, Professor K.M. Bhandarkar, Dr. Sanjeevani Mahalle, Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Joginder Singh Bisen, Dr. Jaideep Nikam, in front of me Dr. Shashi Gaikwad, Professor Manoj Saxena, Dr. Gajanan Gullane, Ycmou, all the office staff, officers of Ycmou, and my old colleague Dr. Madhvi Dharankar, and many more. I extend warm and inclusive welcome to you all. Friends, you know very well who is Shashi Vanzari. There is no need to introduce me from other person, and it's an immense pleasure to make my presence in this conference. And as the task is given to me to inaugurate the conference, first I would like to finish that. Then I will be free to talk about the theme and many more things. I'm very happy to inaugurate this conference on inclusive and equitable education, preparing teachers for diversity in the light of NEP 2020. So I'm very happy. And now I will start my inaugural address speech. First, I would express my gratitude towards Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sanjeev Sonone, and Professor Nilima Bhagwati, Dr. Bhandarkar, and Shashi Gaikwad. So you may be curious to know the reason. The first, because Vice Chancellor has invited me. Second, both the officers of CTF, they have invited me. And why Dr. Shashi Gaikwad? Because Dr. Bhandarkar and Dr. Shashi Gaikwad, they were instrumental to introduce me to the city in the year 1994. I have a long association with CTE, and the entire journey of CTE has been explained by both Professor Bhandarkar and Professor Nilima Bhagwati. So this was my second job, and I congratulate Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Sanjeev Sonone and CTEF. Then third job is to again express my thanks for considering me, to honor me for what I don't know, but I think CTF. I'm a member of CTEF. Now it has become CTEF. Earlier it was CTE. Thank you very much, Professor Nilima and Professor Bhandarkar. Friends, I would like to take 10 minutes only, and I will finish it in only 10 minutes. When we talk about inclusive and equitable education, first we have to understand what it means. The second part of the theme is related to the preparing teachers. We have to prepare the teachers. I'm also teacher, you are also teacher. So why it is needed to relook again on the theme preparing teachers? See, our Honorable Prime Minister always highlight the point we have to see the Vikasit Bharat by the end of 2047. मुझे तो यही रियलाइज हुआ कि एक मिनी विकसित भारत मैंने वाईसीएम मूवी में देखा. See, the relevance of the theme, relevance of the venue, relevance of the presence of people, very important. Why I'm saying all these things in relation to the topic? Inclusive and equitable education starts from whom? Starts from teacher. Professor Sanjeev Sonone is a born teacher. He has given us Vittal, and we all call Mauli. Mauli is the inclusion, because gender inclusion, it relates with gender. Always we call it Vitthala Mauli, Vithoba Mauli. Mauli means both the genders included in the one person. So inclusion starts from Professor Sanjeev Sonone. He is very creative in that sense, very thoughtfully he is doing all the events and etc. Other activities also. Why it is equitable education? We realize that while watching the video of corporate institute, and we could see that everywhere there is a greenery, all things are maintained, and I hope he may be an instrumental person to bring this city conference to the Nashik. Again, there is a reason. When we talk about inclusion and diversity, there is lot of things in Maharashtra. ज्या ज्ञानेश्वरांनी पसायदान मागितलं, आता विश्वात्मके देवे, एने वरे वाग्यद्य तोषावे, तोषोनी मजदावे पसायदान. इन्क्लुजन, इक्विटेबल, या सगळ्या गोष्टी लक्षात घेऊन त्यांनी बरोबर सिटीची कॉन्फरन्स आणि थीम निवडलेला आहे. त्यांनी भांडारकर आणि निलिमाला कन्व्हिन्स केलं असेल. ज्या ज्ञानेश्वर माऊलीला अगेन I can repeat the example of Jnaneshwar. Again, it is the example of inclusivity. ज्या ज्ञानेश्वरांनी इन्क्लुजन आणि डायव्हर्सिटीसाठी इक्विटेबिलिटी करता आणि इक्विटी करता पसायदान मागितलं, त्या ज्ञानेश्वराच्या नगरीमध्ये ही कॉन्फरन्स आणि या थीमवर होते. इट्स सिग्निफिकन्स इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट and it has been reflected in the deliberations. So again, sir, congratulations. Now the fourth part of my speech. I thank organizer for inviting me as a guest. And you know very well, I am not a guest here. Since long, I have good association with Ycmou. Ycmou आल्यानंतर सगळ्या आठवणी ताज्या होतात आणि अगदी रिफ्रेशिंग वाटतं म्हणून मी आली. हा माझा कदाचित स्वार्थ असेल. As the theme of this conference is inclusive and equitable education, preparing teachers for diversity in the light of NEP 2020, we have to understand why. Entire document of NEP talks about what? talks about the thought, we want inclusive, equitable, and lifelong education. Why? Because we have to achieve the goal of Vikasit Bharat by the end of 2047. But at the beginning, you will have to see the document, and at the beginning, there is one sentence: education is fundamental for achieving the human potential, blah, 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 and for the national development. That is the sentence in the first paragraph of document. It is very important, and therefore, we have to understand the meaning and role of education. It is imperative to redefine role and commitment of teachers. We cannot speak, we cannot deliver, we cannot think of education only by deleting the teachers. Whenever we talk about education, then the second thought will be of teachers. Teacher has to play a very important role when we talk about inclusive and equitable education. And when we talk about education, when we talk about teachers, then it is very important to think about the role and duties of teachers. And CTE is working for the well-being of teachers, not only in terms of salary, not only in terms of wages, not only in terms of other welfare schemes, but they are talking about the professional development of teachers. And you know why it is called as profession? Because profession itself tells us, when we derive the insight from other professions, and then it helps us to develop our personality, and therefore it is the profession. So very important to think about what commitments do we have. We could see everywhere they are struggling a lot for the salary, for the benefits, but they'll think less about the contribution and commitment of me, or what my community as a teacher will contribute for the betterment of our country. When we talk about the country, it's not a country, it's a nation. Because why it is called as Bharat ek राष्ट्र है? भारत एक राष्ट्र होने का कोई एक वजूद है, कोई एक तत्व है, कोई एक विचार है, बिकॉज इट हैज इंडियन इथॉस. हम किसी भी कंट्री को कंट्री कह सकते हैं, पर भारत ये कंट्री नहीं है, ये देश नहीं है केवल मात्र, ये एक राष्ट्र है, और इस राष्ट्र की कुछ अवधारणाएं हैं. और ये अवधारणाएं होने के कारण हम लोग शिक्षा नीति पे आते हैं, क्योंकि एवरीथिंग इज इन रिलेशन टू पॉलिसी, वी हैव टू डिस्कस. और फिर सेकंड या थर्ड पैरा होगा डॉक्यूमेंट का, उसमें लिखा है व्हाट इज द एम ऑफ एजुकेशन. वी हैव टू इंस्टिल द स्पिरिट ऑफ बीइंग भारतीय. बीइंग एन इंडियन नहीं कहूंगी मैं, भारतीय होने का एक तत्व है, और वो तत्व हमें शिक्षा में लाना है. अब ये तत्व कौन लाएगा? इसलिए मैंने, शायद आपको पसंद आया होगा, नहीं आया होगा, मैंने कहा कि एक योजक, एक प्रशासक, एक लीडर जब सोचता है कि भाई मेमेंटो क्या देना चाहिए, तो इट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम दैट की विठ्ठलाचीच मूर्ती दिली पाहिजे, कारण देर इज अ सिग्निफिकन्स ऑफ गिव्हिंग सम मेमेंटोज. काय पण देऊन दिलं, टोपी दिली त्यांनी, त्याच्या मागे काहीतरी अर्थ असतो. ती कल्पकता शिक्षकामध्ये आली पाहिजे. मी मराठीत बोलते, आय कॅनॉट कंट्रोल माय सेल्फ. याने महाराष्ट्रात असल्यावर जर मराठीत नाही बोललं तर मला तिथे झेलावं लागतं, हिंदी आणि इंग्लिश. दिल्लीमध्ये मराठी बोलणारं कुणी भेटत नाही, म्हणून मी माझं सगळं इथे काढून टाकते, माफ करा. आणि फार मोजके लोक आहे ज्यांना मराठी समजणार नाही, निलीमाला नाही समजणार. हा, तर मला ना असं म्हणजे हे गदगद झालेलं आहे, मराठी केव्हा बोलते. आपल्याला लक्षात येतं की मी तुमच्या समोर, मी टीचर असल्यामुळे हे सगळं बोलते. 2 वर्तुळ मी ठेवते, 2 वर्तुळ मी तुमच्या समोर काढलेत. इमॅजिन करा, एक वर्तुळ, त्याच्यामध्ये मी लिहिते इंडिया. मनोज जी समझ रहा है ना, एक सर्कल में लिख रही हूं मैं इंडिया, और दूसरा एक सर्कल मैंने ड्रॉ किया एक्सपिरियन्शियल लर्निंग, ऍक्टिव्हिटी बेस्ड लर्निंगच्या गोष्टी आपण करतो. दुसऱ्या सर्कलमध्ये लिहिलं मी भारत. आम्ही कितीदा दिवसातून इंडियाच्या सर्कलमधनं भारतच्या सर्कलमध्ये जातो, विचार करा तुम्ही. आमच्या समोर 2 सर्कल आहे. एका सर्कलवर मग इंडिया लिहिलं आणि दुसऱ्याला लेबल केलं मी भारत. आपण आपला फायदा असेल, काही आणखी करा इंडियावर येतो. मग आपल्या मुलांना संस्कार द्यायचे आणि मग काहीतरी नुकसान झालं, आपण भारतामध्ये जातो. परत आपण भारताकडून इंडियामध्ये येतो. ही गडबड जी आहे ती आमच्या माइंडसेटची आहे. हा माइंडसेट पक्का करायचा आहे आणि ते काम फक्त टीचर करणार. आणि त्याच्याही पेक्षा जबाबदारी टीचर एज्युकेटरची आहे. आम्ही छोटीशी भेटवस्तू देताना देखील टीचरला व्हॉट ही हॅज टू थिंक तिथून सुरुवात करावी लागेल, तर आम्ही इन्क्लुसिव्हिटी आणि इक्विटॅबिलिटीची गोष्ट करू शकू. आणि म्हणून प्रिपेअरिंग टीचर्स फॉर डायव्हर्सिटी. आय नो दॅट ऑल्दो इट इज देअर, बट I have to decide, being a teacher, what is to be selected and what is not to be selected. तुम्ही पुस्तकं बघितली असाल, साधारणतः ग्रेड 1 पासून आपल्याला माहित आहे की समग्र शिक्षामध्ये आपण आहोत आता. स्कूल एज्युकेशन इट इज कन्सिडर्ड और इट इज अंडर समग्र शिक्षा. समग्र शिक्षा ही पहिलीपासून, पहिली नाही त्याच्या आधी पण आपण 3 वर्ष घेऊया. फाउंडेशनल स्टेज टू 12वी पर्यंत कंटिन्युअम आहे. आणि म्हणून आयटेप गजाननजी येणार नाहीये, मिनिस्टर साहेबांनी त्यांना मीटिंग ठेवल्यामुळे ते येणार नाही. आयटेप has been introduced. What is the significance of this ITEP? Preparing teachers for future. Because one should know that why this continuum is very important. We know we have that experience. अंगणवाडी वेगळी, प्री प्रायमरी वेगळं केलेलं होतं आणि मग ऑनवर्ड्स आपण बघितलं शाळेमध्ये जो एक पेडॅगॉजिकल ढाचा, करिक्युलमचा जो ढाचा होता तो तसा होता. आणि म्हणून त्याच्यामध्ये काय दुष्परिणाम आपल्याला भोगावे लागले ते आपल्याला माहित आहे. आणि म्हणून आयटेप, हा आयटेप विषय जो आहे तो स्वतंत्रपणे त्याच्यावर चर्चा होणार आहे. आपण आपल्या सगळ्या उपनिषदामध्ये आणि बाकीच्या अनेक वेदांपासून हा सगळा विषय आलेला आहे. कृण्वन्तो विश्व मार्यमचा जो एक आपण विचार ठेवलेला आहे भारताने, आणि म्हणून भारत एक राष्ट्र आहे टू मेक द वर्ल्ड अ ग्रेट. म्हणून गुरु शिष्य परंपरा महत्वाची आहे. म्हणून आपण आपलं जे वसुधैव कुटुंबकमचं थीम ठेवलेलं होतं G20 करता, याचा सगळा इम्पॉर्टन्स लक्षात घेऊन आपल्याला प्रिपेरिंग द टीचर्स आपल्याला विचार करायचा आहे. आपण आपल्या वेगवेगळ्या बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज मध्ये आणि वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणी आपण टीचर्सला आणू. नॉट ओनली टीचर एज्युकेटर्स किंवा टीचर ऑफ स्कूल्स, बट टीचर्स फ्रॉम ऑल डिसिप्लिन्स. आपल्याला लक्षात घेतलं पाहिजे की व्हॉट शुड बी द फोकस ऑफ द करिक्युलम. मी म्हणून छोटंसंच उदाहरण दिलं की एक उद्घाटनाचा कार्यक्रम आम्ही जेव्हा आयोजित करतो तर आमच्या डोक्यात आलं पाहिजे की लोकली काय मिळतं, लोकल परंपरा काय आहे, आमच्या नाशिकची महाराष्ट्राची संस्कृती काय आहे. तिथून आम्ही सुरुवात करून आम्ही या कार्यक्रमाचा समारोप करणार आहोत. व्हॅलिडिक्टरी फंक्शन मध्ये आम्ही आणखी काहीतरी करणार आहोत. हा सगळा विचार आपल्याला टीचर म्हणून जेव्हा आपण आपला बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज मध्ये आपला करिक्युलम येईल, आपली पुस्तकं येतील, आपल्या अध्यापन पद्धती येतील, वी विल फोकस ऑन सम रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट. अगेन lot of discussions are going on at central place. Whatever we are doing through research, it should be socially productive. It should be useful for the benefit of the society. And therefore, from the very beginning to the last, we have to think about Bharat, glorification of Bharat, Vikasit Bharat. And it is our responsibility to bring, to nurture quality in our teachers, in recruitment of the teachers, in deployment of the teachers, service conditions, empowerment of teachers, etc., etc. The high respect for teachers and the high status of the teaching profession must be restored so as to inspire the best to enter in the teaching profession. You know very well what is going on, what is happening to the private colleges. So I am very bold enough to say all these things, to highlight all these things, but we should not compromise with the quality. Otherwise, what will happen? टीचरचा रिस्पेक्ट संपलेलाच आहे, तुम्ही ऐकताच आहे न्यूजपेपर मधनं. आणि मग तसे जर टीचर आपण प्रोड्यूस करू शकू तर मग एज्युकेशन इज फंडामेंटल फॉर अचिव्हिंग फॉर ब्रिंगिंग, फॉर एक्सपोजिंग वगैरे जे आपण म्हणतो द ह्युमन पोटेन्शियल, ते मायनस करून टाकावं लागेल. ते वाक्य काहीतरी करावं लागेल. Policy focuses on all these aims and objectives and therefore need to have continuous professional development. संख्या कमी आहे त्याच्यामुळे काही लोकांना वाटेल हे सिटी काय करतं. आय टेक द लिबर्टी टू स्पीक. निलिमा, सीटीईनी माहिती आहे, सीटीई हे डॉक्टर गुलाब चौरसियाच्या मार्गदर्शनाखाली फोरम झालं, त्याचं फाउंडेशन ते होतं. पण आम्ही लोक या सिटीमध्ये का जायचं, म्हणजे आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट मी ओनली, की काही गेल्यानंतर आपल्याला काहीतरी थॉट मिळतो, काहीतरी आपल्याला 2 टीचर एज्युकेटर तिथे डेलिव्हर करणार आणि ते आपल्याला ऐकायला मिळणार. ही कायम मनात उत्सुकता बाळगून, मनात इच्छा बाळगून आम्ही सिटीच्या कॉन्फरन्सेस करायचं. मग हळूहळू म्हणजे उदाहरणार्थ सोनवणे सर ते जोडल्या गेलेत, असे अनेक देशभर देशाच्या बाहेर लोक जोडल्या गेलेत. आणि हे सिटी या लोकांनी खरंच आय सॅल्यूट यू बोथ भांडारकर अँड निलिमा, की यांच्या लिडरशिपमुळे अजून बरीच मंडळी आहे की यांनी या सिटीला जिवंत ठेवलं. सिटी आधी ते सिटी होता, आता सिटी EF झालं. असं जर काही एक प्रोफेशनल ऑर्गनायझेशन असेल आणि ते प्रयत्न करतात आहे की प्रोफेशनल डेव्हलपमेंट शिक्षकांची कशा प्रकारे व्हावी, तर निश्चितच आपण सगळे त्यांना ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ एंटायर पार्टिसिपंट्स आपण त्यांना धन्यवाद देऊ, अभिनंदन करू. आणि छानपैकी आपण प्रत्येकाने विचार करायलाच पाहिजे की प्रिपेरिंग द टीचर्स फॉर द फ्युचर स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम व्हॉट, बिगिनिंग कसं असेल त्याचं. आणि एंटायर पॉलिसी डॉक्युमेंट किंवा पॉलिसीला जर त्याचे ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह जर आम्हाला अचीव करायचे असेल तर आमच्या प्रत्येकाला आम्हाला एक कमिटमेंट आमच्यामध्ये लागेल. प्रोफेशनल डेव्हलपमेंटसाठी आम्ही सगळे झटू आणि निश्चितच आमचं स्पिरिट जे आहे ते स्पिरिट आम्हाला निश्चित मदत करेल की आम्ही वी बिलॉंग टू टीचर कम्युनिटी, वी हॅव टू स्ट्राईव्ह हार्ड फॉर getting the benefit to the society, and definitely it will help us to improve the quality. With these words, I'm very much thankful to Honorable VC sir and Nilima and Dr. Bhandarkar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam, for telling us the importance of learning in our life, and you have also explained the importance of a teacher in one's life. Thank you once again for your inspiring words on this occasion. Now, for this conference, a collection of abstracts of papers has been made, and now it's the time for the abstract book publication. So, I request respected Professor N.J. Pawar sir for the publication. I also request Paikros sir and Gaikwad madam to please come on the stage. As you can see, the abstracts books publication is being done over here. I request you all to please give a big round of applause. Thank you. Now I request respected Professor Vanzari madam for the Ycmou book publication. I request Gaikwad madam to please be on the stage, and Paikros sir also. Yes. The book is about the teacher education through distance mode. It is a critical study of existing B.Ed program of Ycmou.
या पुस्तकामध्ये महाराष्ट्रामध्ये आणि भारतामध्ये दूरशिक्षणाच्या माध्यमातून B.Ed शिक्षण क्रमाचा कसा विकास होत गेला याची सगळी इतिवृत्त, केस स्टडी सुरुवातीपासूनच्या ते आतापर्यंत जे आपलं डिस्टन्स मोडमध्ये एज्युकेशनचा आणि बीएडच्या याच्यामध्ये वेगवेगळे आपण आयाम केलेले आहेत. बहुआयामी प्रॅक्टिकलचा त्याच्यामध्ये कशा प्रकारे घेतले, आता NEP जे सांगितलेलं आहे त्याच्यामध्ये, तर ह्या गोष्टी तत्कालीन संचालक अनंत जोशी सर यांच्या मार्गदर्शनात आपल्या यशवंतराव चव्हाण महाराष्ट्र मुक्त विद्यापीठामध्ये बऱ्या प्रमाणात ते झालेले आहेत. त्याच्यातल्या कशा असतील त्याचा एक लेखाजोखा हा मुद्दाम इंग्रजीमधून केलेला आहे आणि ते आंतरराष्ट्रीय पातळीवर किंवा भारतातल्या सगळ्या अन्य विद्यापीठामधल्या लोकांना देखील त्याचा उपयोग व्हावा, हा याच्या पाठीमागचा उद्देश आहे माननीय कुलगुरू महोदयांचा.
Thank you, Baikrao sir, for explaining us about the book over here. Thank you once again. I thank all the dignitaries also. Now, let us move forward with our program. We have amongst us Professor Dr. N.G. Pawar sir. I would like to give a short introduction about sir over here. He is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapith, Pimpri, Pune since 2019. He was the Vice Chancellor of Shivaji University, Kolhapur. And he has worked as a teacher, a researcher, and academic administrator in a professional career of over 35 years. And he has contributed immensely to the fields of higher education, teaching, and research, especially in terms of his specializations in hydrogeology and environmental geochemistry. He has successfully guided the PhD research of 18 PhD students in geology and environmental science departments, published over 75 research papers, edited 4 research volumes, 2 abstract volumes, and translated 2 books on popularization of science, besides several popular articles. There is a lot of things to tell you about, sir, but as we have to move forward early, now I request respected. Yes, sir. As our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, has rightly said, he is a multidisciplinary person. And now I request respected. Um, I request respected Pawar, sir, for the keynote address on this occasion.
Presentation फक्त सुरू करायला सांगा. Well, good morning to all of you. The chief guest of today's function, Dr. Shashikala Vanjari Madam, the Vice Chancellor of Ycmou, and my colleague and good old friend from Pune University, Dr. Sanjeev Sonawane, officials of CTRF, Dr. Bhagwati Madam, Dr. Bhandarkar, Pro Vice Chancellor of Ycmou, Dr. Bisen, the organizers, particularly of this particular conference on teacher education, Dr. Mrs. Mahale, Dr. Jaydeep Nikam, Dr. Gaikwad Madam, fellow participant teachers, students, and my dear friends. Let me first take the opportunity of thanking Professor Sonawane for having given me an opportunity to be amongst you all to talk about the need of multidisciplinary education in the light of NEP 2020. In fact, ever since he joined as a Vice Chancellor of this particular university, I was looking forward to come and meet him in the office. But it took a long time for me to come to Nasik and spend some time with him, more in an informal mode and now in a formal mode. Secondly, we also have to look at the
aspect of this particular theme of the conference, multidisciplinary national conference, which is organized by the School of Education of Ycmou. And therefore, I thought that let me try to connect myself with the theme of this particular event. Although for last 9 years, I'm working more with the medical university and more with the medical education, allied health education. But the soul of whole education remains the same. It is said by one of the thinkers that no society can rise above the level of their teachers. And therefore, we all, as a teachers, have assembled here to ask ourselves as to what is the moral and ethical responsibility that lies on us in terms of building the competent, educated, I will add healthy society and the strong nation. And therefore, in that perspective, we would like to look at everything today. Let us try and look at the very purpose with which new policies have been floated time and again. This is the fourth one which has come into the market now, I would say, by the government. But then looking at every aspect, we have to simply believe in the fact that education is a dynamic process. Keeps changing on the demands of the industry, on the demands of the society, evolving generations. And therefore, going back into my times, maybe 50 years ago, I would say, that we had teachers, wonderful teachers, who taught us through minimum gadgets, no gadgets in fact, only one, another one chalk and talk, trained generation of mine. But then we could achieve the objective of making our career in a respective field and successfully. But things do not stop for that. As the technology evolved, chalk and talk got replaced. We had then whiteboards to avoid some kind of aspects related to environment. By then, the environmental concepts came in. And therefore, we were more conscious about the nature of the environment, pollution, those aspects. We replaced the old boards. They came and became whiteboards. Subsequently, we also got changed because technology was evolving so rapidly, and with the internet and provision of internet, things changed so rapidly that keeping pace with them has become very challenging for the teacher now. So smart boards, interactive boards, then AI, then augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, extended reality, immersive learning, what not. And this journey has become a very challenging for all of us to make ourselves understand first and teach others, which was not the case before. Chalk and talk method. It was not so. And therefore, all those days teachers were treated as a sage on the stage. Today it is not. Today teacher-centric education is done away with. Now it has become student-centric. I used to write books for Bal Bharati, 5th standard to 12th standard, madam. Parisar Vidyan. That developed my ability to write more into Marathi also, and then I translated some of the books written by the Ministry of Earth Sciences, translated into the local languages, Marathi language. And therefore, we practice there Jnana Rachanavad, construction of knowledge. student-centric, activity-based learning, all those concepts of education we started adopting, because formally I was never I did my PhD, I went for postdoctoral research and came back and joined as a teacher. Where was the training as a teacher? No training. That time, academic staff colleges were also not there, Professor Rode. They came into existence later. So we started teaching the way we want, the way we understood. We couldn't understand the learner's mindset. We didn't understand what is to be done for the learner's engagement. Thanks to that generation that was more attentive than today's generation. Because today's generation has so many things. Spectrum of activities. Spectrum of activities with a gadget in the hand. So his time is divided, fractionated. And therefore he is puzzled how to pay attention for 45 minutes. No, he cannot. If you see the attendance of all the students in the classes, you will wonder that 10, 15 students. Even in medical, we are facing that problem. So if a medical student is not ready to attend the classes, imagine the future of health education. So it has become a big challenge for the teacher, and therefore, Madam gave very nice thought: inclusive education, access to education, reaching out to masses in terms of providing education. And therefore, in today's context, where NEP wants us to provide holistic education, where every aspect of tradition, culture, language, everything has to be imbibed in the journey of a student. And therefore, we have to see as to how we can orient ourselves. So it has a spectrum of activities which cuts across various streams. So it could be liberal arts, it could be languages, it could be science, it could be engineering, it could be health science. And therefore, what is there as the best, how we can capture as a teacher and provide it to the student so that he becomes ready to learn, to develop himself as a personality which is holistically developed personality. Why this is a need? This is a need because over several years we have gone ahead in terms of subjects, specializations, super specializations, so on and so forth. And therefore, we have forgotten about the holistic approach. And that is the reason why we need this particular multidisciplinary education to be provided. And therefore, today's teachers have to become, a teacher's job has become very challenging for the simple reason that teacher has to be possessing knowledge of various streams. He has to be multi-skilled, multilingual, multicultural, multidimensional. Everything in a teacher has to be there now. And therefore, in Marathi, there's a very wonderful word. बहुआयामी शिक्षकाची गरज आहे. आपल्यासारख्या आता विशेष एका शाखेमध्ये ट्रेन केलेल्या शिक्षकाची गरज राहिलेली नाही. मी सायन्सचा म्हणून चालणार नाही, मी इंजिनिअरिंगचा म्हणून चालणार नाही, मी एज्युकेशनचा म्हणून चालणार नाही. एका बहुआयामी शिक्षकाची गरज आहे. आणि फ्रॉम दॅट पॉइंट ऑफ व्ह्यू वी हॅव टू लुक ॲट द थीम ऑफ टुडेज keynote address. So let's look at this particular aspect. I'll just give you quickly 5 minutes historic background and then what is really there. This is what is today's situation is. Because we want to provide access to the masses in terms of education. Latest figures. Universities 1389. Big number. I know there was Knowledge Commission report by Sam Pittard in 2010 when I was Vice Chancellor at that time. He wanted every district to have a university. And therefore, sub-centers of the universities were being established. Then colleges, these are the colleges. Stand alone, 16,000 degree awarding. Of course, the details are given. Institutes of national importance, 159. Eminence, 12 R&D institutes. This is a small breakup. Just to give you an idea that it has become a so big system Third, across the globe, US, China, and India. Two dimensions. You have so much diversity in the universities also, same as colleges. And then we have specialized universities, like I am working now in a medical university, because we are so super specialized. And therefore, central universities, state private now, we are deemed to be, which is also private. So these are the diversities with which you have to deal with. And then looking at the growing system, these many kinds of policies that we have had. So we started our journey immediately after the independence. So first, Radhakrishnan Commission, then we have Kothari Commission, then we have 1986 policy. Finally, all these three policies, if you take into consideration, what was the theme of all these three policies? Number one, access to education, provide education to all. Equity, cut across all the sections of the society, and then quality. So at one time, when these commissions they addressed these three key issues, the system was simultaneously expanding, quantity was increasing. Simultaneously, we wanted to provide quality also, and both of them never come along. So quantity and quality doesn't go hand in hand. Fourth one, which is the latest one now, we have realized that 1991 onwards, government decided that education is no longer affordable to government. We signed GATT treaty. Finally, we decided that no longer education is a social business for us. No social good. Let us make now something like what is globally being done, American model of privatization of education. We started privatization of education 1991 onwards. So education became commercial good, and that is how private players come. 60% of the institutions today, or more than 60-70% now, they are self-financed universities, colleges in every sector. And that is why now education has become commercial good, because that's the policy at the national level. And therefore, in the light of this, we needed also to revise the old policies, and that is why National Education Policy 2020. What it says now, access, equity, quality, yes, we need to continue with that. But then there are two more words, accountability and affordability. So accountability of education, because we knew that social good when it was, we also forgot as we are teachers, we have to have commitment for the development of the society, national development. Some of our colleagues may not have thought of that way. So we also are responsible for state of affairs. Let us try to also own some responsibility of the damage that is created. Why only blame politicians, policymakers? We are also equally responsible, because we sit in the policy making also. And therefore, we have to see that onus lies on us too. And therefore, what has then happened is that accountability word has now been included in the national education policy. Why affordability? Because 1991. Because government also decided no more education as a social good. Let us make it as a commercial good. Let education be provided by the private players. And therefore, now we have to think in terms of how best we can make efforts in terms of providing that education which is also affordable. The place where I work, a MBBS person, how much he will have to pay for 5 years? Not less than 1 CR. All medical colleges across India. Otherwise, you cannot provide education. You can't run the institution. So we have to then think as to what best we can do for building this. Basic purpose with which we came, all three earlier commissions, related to purpose of the education is to relate it to the life, needs and aspirations of the people, therefore expansion of the system, and secondly, social, economic and cultural transportation. This is what Radhakrishnan Commission Otari Commission and 1986 policy advocated. But then change of things happened, 1991 onwards, and therefore let's try to see how best we can make efforts in terms of enhancing productivity, industrial products, and many other things. When the system is expanding, we have to realize it expands at the cost of something. What was the cost that we had to pay? Quality was the first victim of expansion. Then rigidity in courses, so much so specializations. We don't want to go beyond. I have seen beyond science now into medical science, we have super specialists, madam. Person only will replace lung, only replace heart, only replace cornea, or kidney, or liver. He is so much so specialized. He is busy across the country, he moves across the country, he does his job. But he doesn't think holistically as a human body. That is the disadvantage. So we have to think as to how we can reverse this process. NEP tries to address this. Then poor absorption of knowledge. That because, again I say, fractionation of the time of a learner. How to ensure learners' engagement is a big challenge for the teachers today. You have no guarantee that student sitting in the class is really learning. He's attentive to us learning. No, because he's spending time on WhatsApp, Facebook, and number of other gadgets, which he has other attractions too. So we have to see how best we can ensure learners' engagement. Then growing unemployment. See, our graduates are now not being compared with other graduates abroad. So they have to undergo several processes, several steps of giving examinations and then joining other institutions abroad. Lack of infrastructure is also there. See, we have to see that in urban area, I would say that yes, infrastructure is wonderful in many institutes because there's a competition. When you go to rural area, where from they will get this? Because now we have entered into privatization, self-finance, colleges, universities. So with minimum amount of fee, if they are trying to provide education, because nobody wants to come now to these rural colleges. So these are the issues, and therefore we have to look at as to how we can address this. And this is now being a responsibility of all teachers and policymakers. The reason is that we don't compare ourselves with the other advanced nations, and therefore education is the primary. It is very important, education and health, without which no society can become healthy, no nation can become healthy. And therefore we have to see that as to what we can do. And therefore, when I was in 2010 Vice Chancellor, how much was the GR? 10 to 12%, madam. 18% of Maharashtra. Now it has become 28.54. And now we are aiming to make it to 50% by 2035. That is the aim of NEP. And therefore, we have switched over our policies now. Let us continue with the formal system, but at the same time, to reach out to this particular thing, we also have to go for online, distance. So these are the modalities just to see to it that access to education is provided to the masses to larger number. And that is how things have changed. And so these have become really challenging issues for all of us as a nation, as a teacher and policymaker. Why this particular aspect is needed? Because all these reforms are needed as to how we can reverse this particular process, improve the quality, provide education across different streams and everything. And therefore, NEP 2020 advocates what is now we are going to more discuss about the multidisciplinary, holistic education. That is the soul of the NEP. And therefore, let's look at this. What it means that it combines several aspects. Number one, integration of multiple disciplines. Just to quote you example, 90% NEP I have implemented in Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapith because we are medical university. We have immediately established School of Liberal Arts, School of Science and Technology, School of Design, School of Biotechnology, School of Management Studies. These are all there, established since 20. Now, we find very interesting feature, lot of girls from medical, they are attending dance classes in the liberal arts. Whereas In the NEP, medical education and law is not included. But I admire National Medical Commission that though they don't fall within the framework of NEP 2020, they have taken little liberal approach. So they have floated a competency-based curriculum 2 years ago in many health sciences and allied health sciences, competency-based curriculum, very well defined, much more precise than ours. And therefore, their 84 hours of electives that they have provided, these girls from medical science come during those 84 hours of flexibility that is given to them, because their course is 4.5 years plus 1 year intensive. And therefore, they are utilizing this. We are very happy that this is working. So, partly the inner desire of the girls to learn the dance, maybe then Kathak, maybe then any other dance, they are learning that. They are getting time. So, we offer them in the evening. Okay, 4 to 6 is fine. So, this is how NEP has started giving opportunity to students, that flexibility. Simultaneously, they can provide, pursue 2 degrees, and therefore they can get a certificate also of this particular thing. And therefore, that is something, a step towards holistic education, which is advocated in NEP 2020. Look, this is what is being viewed. We boost up our traditions, great traditions. But immediately after the talk, we forget that we had such talk. And therefore, what now we want to learn is that how best we can bring in those good aspects of our old education system into the formal, more modern education system. And therefore, we look at it that they were the people, those who were having knowledge of arts and music. They were learning science and mathematics also. They were also learning medicine and engineering. They were also learning carpentry, textile, everything. So we want knowledge, we want skill, we want any other aspect. That was all included in it. And therefore, NEP is solely that how best we can bring in everything together. And that is what I'm trying to give you some insight as to what was the Indian knowledge tradition and what are the things that we can modernize and bring it before the new generation to provide them holistic education, which is a multidisciplinary education. And therefore, mathematics, science, medicine, engineering, let me tell you that Europeans were very strong in liberal arts. Europeans, Americans were very strong in liberal arts. You must have heard the story of Sputnik. Sputnik, by Russian Federation. They launched that. They went into space. That opened the eyes of many from the West. That mathematics and science is highly important for any growth and development, prosperity of the nation. So now STEM. And STEM also wants languages, social sciences, economics to be integrated with it. You see the IIT structure now. They are social sciences. They also want to now see that economics, many other streams, they are floating. The reason being that there is a relevance. Why a technocrat should not have knowledge about the economics? Why a technocrat should not have knowledge about the social sciences and movements? There is a need. Otherwise, in subdued manner, we read something. For example, I am trained in science. I never read anything in sociology, anything in law, anything in economics. But the moment I became academic administrator, I have to do this because I had 400 cases in Shivaji University to deal with, right from the local civil court to high court to Supreme Court. Without looking into the law, I could not deal with them. I have to first understand what the case is all about, which particular law is more applicable, and as to how to go about it. And therefore, these are all challenges which, as a teachers, we have to face and see that this is how we have to now train the students to see that his holistic development is ensured during the process of learning. And therefore, 100% commitment by the teachers is expected. And unless this kind of commitment is there in the new generation of teachers, we will not be able to successful in terms of implementing. So these are the kinds of things that we face as a learner. As a learner, he has to face real complex real world problems. Do we teach them? See, I asked civil engineering fellow because my science geology is very close to civil engineering. So several people come to me, corporates, we have very strong connect. People will call me, sir, we have so many such problems. What is the problem? Lot of leakage in the basement floors. Now, why lot of leakage in the basement floor? Because the problem is surface. Now solve the problem. If I ask civil engineering fellow, my geology fellow, what could be the reason? He wouldn't apply his mind because he's not trained accordingly. But if I ask him, go and measure the uplift pressure at that particular site, oh, then he will say, oh, there is a possibility to measure the uplift pressure. So unless you measure the uplift pressure and design the floor slab, you will not be able to take care of the leakage. Because if the force is 25 kilonewton per meter cube from below, and your floor plate design is of only 1 or 10 kilonewton per meter, it will break and come up like a jet. And I have seen such situations. So these real world problems are really the problems of the new society, problems of the new generation learner. Unless they are exposed to that, they will not be able to really take this challenge to solve the problem. Another thing is that so many people call me, sir, we are pumping for 12 hours, but the water level is not dropping. So we have put 2 pumps. Now it is dropping. How much could be the water? If I ask my student to whom I have trained, he will be failure. Because I could not train him to think as to how to find a quantity of water. If it is a tap, you will put bucket, you will measure. It is a nature, it's a vast resource. How to measure is a big challenge, I tell you. And therefore, if I say, what is the diameter of the pipe which is discharging the water? He will get confused. If I ask him, measure the area into velocity, you will get the quantum. He will not be able to do that because his thought process is not tuned accordingly. So if I say that Q is equal to pi r square, that is how you can calculate, then he will keep asking me what is Q, what is pi, what is r. Everything I'll have to tell. So diameter of the pipe is like this. Pi r square is the area which you have to calculate. Then only he will be able to. So his application of mind and thought process has to be tuned in such a way that modern day real world industrial, corporate, social issues are tackled. That is what madam was saying. How he will be useful to the society, to the industry, that is something which is a challenge before all of us. And if we address this challenge, then only the student will become skilled, competent enough to face the real world issues. And that is what is expected this particular. Then there's one more dimension which we never thought as a teachers. See, way back in 85, I was doing PhD. My scholarship ended after 3 years. I had no means of earning. So I requested my head of the department, give me something I can work as a even class 4. Give me something because I don't have otherwise nothing to really live in Pune. Then one of my teachers from Agar Karishi, he advised me, go and do this consultant. He trained me. He asked the industrial fellow to give me one machine. That is how we began the journey of providing consultancy. That created sustainability for myself. I taught this to all my students and none of them became unemployed, including Jaidev. See, if I throw them out, they will survive much more than the professor, elegantly than the professor, because their earnings have become like that. So, how a teacher can make and shape the career of the student depends on how best we can train them. Now, Jaideep is here. My father was a farmer. I went to England, did my postdoctoral research. We had a grape gardens. So Vice Chancellor of Pune University, the then Vice Chancellor Professor Gupte, and the then Vice Chancellor of Shivaji University, Professor Pawar, both of them were my teachers. So I invited them to my place. My father interacted with them in the grape garden while eating the grapes. He said, "What is the use of my son doing PhD, going abroad?" Then both the teachers interacted and told him, "Why? Are you not proud of him?" "I am very much proud," he said. "But what is his use for me in the grape garden?" Because he told them that in our grape garden, a lot of grapes crack and that sweet juice comes out and lot of bees come, which has become big nuisance. Then Professor Gupte called me and told, "See, you are a geochemistry man. Look at the water chemistry, soil chemistry, and see." That triggered some kind of innovative thought process in my mind because I was a youngster, good learner, also moderately good, I would say. So, what I did in my own geochemistry lab, I looked at the geochemical aspects. I interacted with the agrochemist professors from Agriculture College, Pune, learned agri-chemistry also. Looked at what is the composition of what is the composition of soil. I prepared a mixed salt. And then through the drip, I gave it to the grape garden. After a month or so, my father said, "Are there is a slight improvement." Then I said, "Give one more dose." I tell you, within 1.5 month time, the problem was totally saw that he was joyous. He was very happy that something creative that my son has done. Otherwise, not only the academician, but something he can contribute to his own problem. We had products plotted in the market we used to sell. We established a private limited company. We didn't know that it is to be patented. See, this innovation, entrepreneurship, we never taught at that level. None of my teachers taught. I never learned. Had it been the case that I knew that, yes, patenting is a very important step for a product to be floated, I would have done that. I would have earned loyalty. I failed because formal training was not there. So idea that innovation entrepreneurship is again important aspect of our NEP, and therefore we have to now see that we are outgoing generation of teachers. We are not trained accordingly. Let us try to see and bring some people, those who are actually experts in this area. Let us train our students. Let that thought process of creativity of mind is nurtured, is shaped, and that is the whole purpose of providing the NEP related education, holistic education, so that some innovation, some creativity which exists in every individual will surface out. That is how we can look at it. Fourth industrial revolution. Now we are entering also almost into the fifth one. AI is causing revolution. I don't know how many of you have really got exposure, but I live with the young generation, and then I also don't mind asking my son to give me some inputs to learn something. And that is how AI has become an integral part of our education system. It makes your job so easy, so simpler, so efficient, and so accurate. So we have to see how best we can really train our students, making ethical use of artificial intelligence. Let me quote one example. We create subsurface images by conducting some surveys in the field. One of my students sends me images, "Sir, how to interpret it?" I thought that there are so many complex calculations I have to do. It takes one day. Once I tried by asking one of my colleagues, who is a research director, young fellow from dental sciences. He said, "Sir, you can upload image and get the insight." I uploaded image. I asked him on the airport. We were at Singapore airport. I asked, "How to upload the image? Train me." He trained me how to upload image, and then we created a query that interpret this image for such and such output with such and such kinds of inputs. Such a beautiful calculation, one page I got within 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Whole day I used to spend on calculation, and then within 2 minutes. That is the way in which we can make use of. So make your job easier, simpler, efficient, accurate, accountable. Cross check one or two, as simple as that's how. So you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, everything. I have a very strong accuracy team in Dr. D.Y. Patil, because now, after my retirement from the government, 9 years I have spent with this, and therefore another 1 year. So we look at innovation in terms of drafting. Visuals are very important aspect of teaching. Give one page text, and there is a tool, AI tool, Napkin AI. I don't know whether you have Napkin AI. Give that text and ask it to convert it into visuals. Beautiful figures you will get, annotated, everything, and then you can make your job very simpler to teach the student. Idea is that these are the tools and techniques. They will never replace human being, but at the same time, how to make use of them ethically with honesty and integrity to the profession is a challenge before us, and that is something which needs to be taught by the teacher to the students. Certainly it will help, and that is how we can look at it. Encourage adaptability and lifelong learning. This is very challenging. See, often we get students. I used to get lot of requests from the students. Even today I get from Pune University, Shivaji University, even now from the medical university. They want to apply abroad, either for the PhD fellowship, postdoctoral fellowship. And therefore, what we have to advise them that how best he can work in a team. Team requires certain aspects to be fulfilled. Team requires communication, good communication, touching each other's heart, collaboration, sharing each other's thoughts. These are very important aspects. And this requires some kind of tuning of the mindset of the student. Go and learn that to honor their language, appreciate their language, appreciate their food, appreciate their nationality, appreciate their religion. Why? Because we have to train this student to go and create his own space in a new society. If he goes to the Japan, he has to appreciate their culture, their nationality, their religion, their way of life, their food. If he does that, they will make space for you, special space for you, that yes, this guy has got appreciation. They don't want you to forget your culture, nationality, identity, nothing like that. But you create your space, and that is something which is adaptability. And therefore, this has to be taught to the students. Why today some kind of a setback to our society? Because we don't teach this. Therefore, they will make the area dirty. They will split. If you go to London, you will see all this like Mumbai. Why? Because we are not trained. Hygiene is a very important aspect. Do we train students? Do we teach them? No. Cleanliness, environmental consciousness, we utterly fail. Because the moment we drink water, we'll throw away the bottle, throw away the wrapper of the chocolate. These are our habits, and their habits need to be changed. And therefore, that training has to be given to the young mind. And if that is given, certainly it will make positive impact on the individual. I remember one of the thoughts expressed by Mahatma Gandhi that says you have to see your inner voice. Inner voice will shape your thought process. Your thoughts will become habits. Habits will lead to actions. Actions will lead to your destiny. And that is something which we have to see, that how best we can train the learner in terms of imbibing good habits, hygiene, cleanliness, knowledge, skill, and above all, ethics and morality. Now, ethics and morality has become like an ornament, when to wear and when not to wear, only on occasion. That is not our culture. And that is something which is expected in EP. And therefore, we cannot adopt blindly the Western culture. That's a way of life for them. For us, our identity is different. Our society is different. Our culture is different. Let us protect it. So we have to see that this is how we can train our students. And therefore, we have to look at this from the point of view of not only the knowledge. Knowledge is one component now. As I said, skill, to calculate, to learn, another component. Ethics, morality, environmental consciousness, sustainability, these are the issues. See, we are such a populous country. Often I fear that we still do not have any population policy in place like others. China could do that. We are still not. Why? You make any attempt to provide anything to the society, you will always fall short. Right from education to health to infrastructure to water. You will not be able to cope up with the growing needs because we are a nation where least amount of per capita land is there. Less than 0.5 hectares. China has 1.5 hectares. Least amount of water per capita. How will you provide? Air we have already destroyed the quality. So if you see now, because I get numbers from the hospital now, 52,000 cases upper respiratory tract infection. Who are the sufferers? Young infants and elderlies. Maximum. So if you start getting irritation in the throat, it will develop some kind of cough, and it doesn't go within 2-3 days like earlier. Why it doesn't go? Because viruses and bacteria both are attacking. It develops into pneumonia if you don't pay attention. And all that is because of bad air quality, which we have utterly failed, because we don't want to control the dust. Rampant kind of construction in the cities. We don't want to control cities. Like China, China doesn't allow people to come to Beijing and Shanghai without license. See, some good practices of even enemy should be adopted. Why we should not? If they are doing good, we should say that it is good because it's for your benefit. And therefore, that is something which we have to see how best we can train our generation. And therefore, it all requires creativity, innovation, critical and higher order thinking. Like I said, one problem: how to calculate water. It requires some analytical mind, thought process to be applied, critical thinking as to what that I'm giving is in real life situation is really happening like that. Can I cross check it? Therefore, these are the things. Problem solving and teamwork is very important aspect. We as Indians are utterly failure in terms of teamwork, I tell you. Communication, collaboration, cooperation is a bond between individuals, those who are working in a team. If they successfully have good communication, collaboration, cooperation with each other, 100% team will be successful. Had it been the case that in the past as a society we had this kind of thought in the mind, even today we don't have, sir. No invaders would have come. No others like East India Company would have come and divided our society, taken the advantage, because we don't have that kind of thought as a team. And therefore, this is a critical aspect of our aspect of training, teaching, and learning. Better communication and transversal skills. Now, this is, I will explain. Communication, we are very bad. Because we are, I'll just quote you one example of Nobel laureate economics, Amartya Sen's book, An Argumentative Indian. That is the name of the book. So he has narrated one of his experience as a student in the Oxford University while he was learning. He's one of the lady teacher used to come to the class, and sometimes he used to say, Japanese are too polite. They often, yes sir, no sir, they will say. Indians are too rude. which is fact, because we quarrel on the roads. We don't want to discuss, deliberate, solve the issue, but we want to fight. And she used to say, Chinese are just right. It is narrated in his book. So we have to see that communication is a very important aspect. Polite communication is very important aspect. Same language, how to put it, the expression of the language also make you touch others' heart or make you get others shot. It is very difficult. There are certain languages which are very soft languages, like Hindi is a very soft language. Marathi looks harsh in front of Hindi. If you go to Karnataka, Kannadi mixed Marathi will be still harsher. If you go to Belgaum, Kolhapur, you would see, they are offending me. And therefore, we have to see that this cultural diversity is our identity. How to moderate it when you are on different platforms. That is the skill. That is the communication skill, adaptability skill. That is something which we need to teach. And only through education this can happen. Transversal skills, I have elaborated them. Because these are all very typical keywords which we can. Working with others, as I said, teamwork, collaboration, cooperation. And then work professionalism. This is something which is very important for all of us. Commitment to the work, honesty and integrity to the profession. They have also become like a ethics and morality, which we occasionally want to wear and showcase like an ornament. This is a very important aspect. If you have commitment to your own profession, your own job, most of the societies which are advanced societies, if you go to Europe, America, Japan, or for that matter any other country, their commitment to work is so high. They are so honest to their job role. They are so committed to their job role. We have to learn these aspects, not their clothes and food. But these are some of the important aspects which are very important. Self-management, we are utterly failure. There has to be some self-discipline in terms of time management, in terms of health management. So these are important aspects because these days we find, I don't know whether you all have had access to any report on a mental health issues. Highest in the world is South Korea. 28%, madam. Where we are? At least, I don't know about our data, but what is data is there? 18%. Alarming. Their numbers are so small. Population, how much? 7-8 crore they may have. Our 150, in that, if it is 18%, too alarming, I tell you. It is shocking for all of us. And often I see many students, their problems are not understood also, neither by the parents, and parents do not understand, therefore they are not taken to the doctors. We have psychiatry department, so we know the numbers, how they are growing. And therefore it has become a very serious issue for all of us. And therefore, why this happens? If they are not able to cope up with the studies, if he is a postgraduate to learn medicine, he will not be able to cope up, madam. So he will undergo tremendous stress, distress. He doesn't know how to find a way out. Self-management, we have to teach. Engineering, some are forced because everybody wants doctors and engineers to be produced. Every parent wants that. Therefore, that kind of a severe competition which our students are facing, we have to understand. See, one generation difference, if I find, for me, there was zero competition. Jobs were so easily available. In my own department, the government vehicle used to come on the last day of my examination, GSDA. They used to send vehicle, join tomorrow. DGM, they used to send vehicle, join tomorrow. That was the case. Today, see the fierce competition that the students are facing, amount of challenges that they have. The moment they step out of the house, right from traffic navigation to bad roads, to dust, to pollution, to behavior of others on the roads, Everything causes lot of stress, tension to the new generation, whether he's a learner or he's in a job. We have to tune his mindset in terms of how to manage himself, how to counter the stress, how to deal with the stress, how to work on several fronts. These are the challenges before them. And when they don't cope up, they fall prey to the stress and therefore mental health issues. And therefore, we have to be very serious as a teacher as to how best we can guide, train our students. I have one of the students from dental sciences. He developed some bad habit. He was from highly educated family from Thane. And then one fine day morning, police were waiting outside our campus and they took away. They jailed him because he was into some social media stuff which was not in tune with ethical standards. And therefore, he was put in the jail for nearly 3 months. Case is going on. And after he came out of jail, he came to my office asking for whether he can go for continuation of his learning. He was from homeopathy. I said, we are not party. Why legal knowledge is also required. I said, who were the police department filed the case against you? Was there a university in place? No. So as a vice chancellor of university, I will help you. Get no objection certificate from the police department. Because police department wanted him to report every alternate day to the police station in Thane. This place is located in Pune. See, problem solving again and legal knowledge beyond my domain area. So he went. His father also made a request. They put that clause, and then police department gave that he is relocating for continuing the study, and he will report to the Pimpri police station every day. See, his future we cannot make dark because we have to have a big heart as a teacher, administrator. But how best within the framework of the law and also considering his back record, how he comes out of that and develops his career is an important aspect of consideration. And therefore, everything matters to be dealt with as a teacher, and therefore that has become problem solving, decision making, citizens. All these are typical skills which we have to see that they are being taught to the students. These are additional intellectual capacities. Holistic development means what? One is knowledge. How to enhance your intellectual capacity? Multifold, across several disciplines. Then aesthetic and creative abilities. How to nurture them? I quoted you one of the examples. Then social and emotional intelligence. This is also something which is very important because emotional intelligence, there's a book. I don't remember now the author's name. Very wonderful book, I think. So that book, little bit at least, if we have access to it and read, and some abstract form of it, if we can pass it on to the students, I feel they will develop this ability. Emotional intelligence is very important because some issues we emotionally try to deal with, I can understand at family level. But at professional level, only you have to deal. I was solving one issue, bug issue, which was scaled up. For 6 months, I could not find solution because I needed to convince too many things. And also, there were financial implications. But finally, I succeeded. But that sustainability over a 6 months period of time to deal with that issue and then amount of stress. If I could emotionally get involved, I would have crumbled. It is not so. And therefore, we have to see that this distinction is made. Moral and ethical values, as I said, very important aspect, characteristics of our society. We are not too conservative, not too liberal society. We are just moderate, which is a characteristics of our society. And therefore, we can retain the value of this. And then physical, psychological well-being, because Nobody wants to go to the ground. Nobody wants to go to the gym. Nobody wants to go to the walk. These are all very important aspects of countering the stress, which we have to also see to it that students are given that aspect. Key features of multidisciplinary exposure to diverse disciplines, which I just narrated. Strong ethical and social engagement, which are also part of the curriculum, which we'll have to see. Then third one is development of soft skills, which are also very important. Rigorous specialization in chosen fields only. See, there are certain fields which require highly specialized training. NEP does not prevent you from pursuing that. If somebody is very good at dance, Kathak, and he wants to pursue the career, let him. Because he wants to chase his career. That is the objective with which he wants to learn, continue learning. So that also opportunity is given. And therefore, with a new policy, we will have several different changes to be done in the curriculum, which is expected to be more flexible. Lateral exit, lateral entry, after 3 years, degree, honors 4 years. Then if he wants to pursue everything. So those are the aspects which we have to keep in mind and provide the opportunity to the students accordingly. Pedagogy is going to change. Research, it's going to change. This has become again one of the very critical areas. There's a fierce competition for the institutions also to survive, both at national level, international level. Accreditations, ratings, and rankings, and unethical practices in that has become a big challenge before all of us. I find several institutions' names coming up in terms of research articles, which are only AI based, multiple authors, authors on sale, articles on sale, and we try to make every possible effort in terms of seeing that there are no retractions. Retractions have become very common now, which was not the case before. So these are changing times, and therefore teachers have to see to it that these are the challenges before them. How best we can train our new generation not to fall prey to this is also a big challenge. Therefore, we have to see that these are typical aspects which we have to deal with. What could be the multidisciplinary departments? Arts and languages, literature, music, art, dance, then mathematics and sciences, or philosophy, Indology, social sciences, economics, sports. So you can have 30% that liberty is given. 70% domain knowledge, 30% you can have any choice across these fields. So if student of medicine wants to learn something from the law, he should be given, because he has to deal with medical legal issues. These are medical legal issues are rising like anything, because everybody has a Google and WhatsApp as a guru. So they read, they don't validate whether it is correct or wrong. They will come for fighting and they will attack doctors. That has become a big issue. We have a specialized team to deal with the medical legal issues. And therefore, this is something which we have to see that we have the opportunities created for them. The flexibility was never there in the earlier policies. Now, policy gives opportunity to the students of credit exchange, credit transfer, credit redemption, everything. We have already launched one program in biotechnology with Swedish universities. For undergraduate students, we send our students abroad for 1 semester. The credits are exchanged from that university. Their students come to our university for 1 semester, undergraduate. We exchange the credits. And for PG, we send our students 1 year to Örebro University, Skövde University from Sweden. 1 year he will do project work, research, if possible, patents also have come, and all this support will be given by the Swedish government. And if their students come, we take care of them. So that is something which is, just to quote you example. Similar arrangement we have made with the Johns Hopkins Medical School and Harvard Medical School, where in medical sciences it is known as a clinical clerkship. So nobody is allowed to touch the patient, either from this country, those who are coming from abroad, or from our country, then when they go abroad. So these are the arrangements which are being made because there is a flexibility given by the NMC as well as the NEP, and therefore these are some of the things that we have to see. Lifelong learning opportunities for those who want to really continue. Now it has become a issue for the new generation to continue learning every day. Otherwise, they become obsolete within no time. And therefore, these are challenges being faced by the new generation learners. We have to see to it that they are being accordingly trained and tuned, and therefore, teachers have to be accordingly trained. I need not go into all these minor details because basically you all are teachers, and therefore I don't want to teach you what is that. This is something which we have to see that, see, for more than ever before, student mobility across the globe has increased. It could be because of collaborations, it could be because of the high learning, it could be because of the jobs, because of anything. And therefore, they have to be exposed to these kinds of things. Industrial internships, I think day before yesterday, there was a one meeting conducted by AICT, particularly for all the engineering and civil engineering departments. Many others also participated because they want to make sure that students are given internships and they are given projects, and every college has to send two teams to the nearest village to undertake work related to the water, and that is to validate what is implemented by the government, whether it has really been done or not, which is a very good step. So all technical matters will be dealt by civil engineers and geologists partly. Also, the other matters in terms of whether required quantity, source, quality, all those aspects are being dealt with, and therefore these internships are very important. Research internships also with research institutes or other universities, they are most welcome. This is all right, degree, diploma, certificate, whatever it is. This is the academic credits that you can store. You can read them whenever you want, convert it into degree, but keep upskilling, reskilling. That is very important message to be given to the students, and also those who are already in the job. They require some kind of flexibility because they want to upskill themselves, and therefore for them online learning, through that also you can give skills. Particularly AI related 1 week course we have floated through our online learning center, and there are heavy demand from the industry employees, and those just for 1 week, just like a prompt engineering, if you have heard of it. So those courses are also required in tune with the time. Those are okay. PhD, masters, whatever, there's no need now to go into details of them. See, there are institutions like IITs, IIMs. They have their own distinctive features. Why not we think in terms of making our institution with something similar to them? So that will help you achieve the global excellence, and that is something which is a outcome which is expected by Meru's research, innovation, startup incubation. As I said, see, there is a lot of change which has happened in the company laws also. Earlier we had only partnerships, proprietor partnerships, and private limited and limited companies. Now there's one more step that is added into company laws. Proprietary, yes, individual if you want to do business. LLP, limited liability partnerships. That is another one. And then private limited. And private limited, after certain amount of turnover, maybe for TCR onwards, that will become limited and then listed. So these are the steps to be followed, and they need to be taught to the students because every individual we want him to be an innovator, entrepreneur, and not only a job seeker. So from that point of view, we have to see, and therefore strong industry academic collaboration is needed. There are certain subjects where without industry collaboration, you really cannot have exposure given to the students for the real life problems, how they are to be solved, and interdisciplinary research, which has become a need of the time. Expected outcomes, we want globally competitive graduates. We do not want them to now suffer from discrepancies of not achieving the global standards. Then innovative and ethical professionals we want to develop. We want to enhance employability, that is one aspect. and strong research and innovation ecosystem also. See, now the patents are growing like anything, but granting of the patents has become very challenging. Granted patents required some kind of search reports, etc., etc., and therefore converting those into the product development is also a bigger challenge. And therefore there are some kinds of procedures that are available. Very recently we have come out with one of the products for the poultry industry. Poultry industry currently, I don't know how many of you have read or you are exposed to. Poultry industry, poultry feed, which is actually given to the poultry industry, has some amount of arsenic used in it. Arsenic is a potential toxin, and therefore how best we can avoid this kind of food given to the poultry. And that is what was done by our biotechnology department recently, and that is a product which is already launched in the market, and Baramati Agro has already signed the memorandum of understanding with us, and that product is being uh, developed in collaboration with them. So this is something which are some success stories which others also can try to do. The basic idea of multidisciplinary education is quality enhancement. Quality in terms of holistic education to the students. So he is not only domain specific expert, but he is a jack of all when required and master of what is required. That is something which is very important aspect, and therefore quality enhancement is the ultimate aim of the NEP 2020. Relevance and employment. Relevance in the contemporary situations. We cannot blame the early policymakers because those were relevant during those times. Today's situation is different. Global competition, high-tech industry, lot of technology. So we have to now develop the new system which is relevant to the current times, fulfills the current demands, and that is something required. Access and equity remains as important aspects. Access, equity, which are very important aspect right from beginning. We still are to achieve 50% GR, and from that point of view, this access is very important. Reaching out to masses is very important across the diverse sections of the society. Of course, the two aspects, accountability and affordability, are also equally important in the current times, which we'll have to address. So, nothing but NEP is a transformative path for all of us if it is implemented religiously in a committed manner, and if all of us contribute, then only government will be successful. So it is our moral responsibility as a teacher to contribute towards the success of this particular policy, and then only it will take to holistic, inclusive, future ready education, and that is the ultimate education from the learner's point of view. I'm sure that partly I have been successful to provide some inputs which were expected from me. There is a lot to speak because now 15 years in the academic administrative position, and therefore I thought that whatever my heart speaks, I will convey it to you. Once again, thank you very much, Professor Sonavane and his team for providing me an opportunity to be here. And I must also congratulate Dr. Sonavane and Manjari Madam for the honor that they have received from the city. Yeah, city. City, yeah. So, Madam, I appreciate the work which is being done by you at the national level through NIPA, and Bhagwati Madam as well as Dr. Bhandarkar. They are doing the job for the teachers. I appreciate their efforts. I wish all the success to all of you. And thanks once again. Thank you very much. Anything, if you have any query, feel free.
Thank you, sir, uh, for the keynote address. And you have explained many concepts and the critical aspects of teaching, learning, and training. and you have also explained the important roles of a teacher, overall multidisciplinary education, and a holistic approach for the 21st century approach. Thank you, sir, once again. Now, let us move ahead. I would like to request Professor Nilima Bhagwati, Madam, to introduce Sri Mukul Kanitkar, an eminent educationalist on this occasion. Okay, let us move ahead. Now, I request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir Sonone, Sir, to guide us on this occasion.
नमस्कार. जास्त वेळ घेणार नाही. पटेल सर, नमस्ते. So just now who had really saw a seed as a keynote address in our 3-day conference. My senior colleagues and who we learned so many things while our HOD meetings in Shivaji Hall of Pune University. Honorable Vice Chancellor Pawar sir, our Honorable Vice Chancellor of NUPA and member of UGC, Vanzari Madam, Nilima Madam, Bandarkar sir, our Pro Vice Chancellor, another Vice Chancellor from IIT, Professor Ramesh Bhai Patel is also here. Manoj is there and Jaideep Nikam and all of us. Actually, sir, both Vanzari Madam and you had done a very excellent job. I does not have to say too much about it. But why I selected a idol of Vithala, I will say you the inclusive approach. Madam had appreciated it. You might be knowing when you see towards the idol of Vithala. Vithala is a Vishnu. And if you see the forehead, the केशराचा गंध असतो त्याच्यामध्ये there is a one black spot. And I will explain you what is the actually, that is the inclusiveness of a Lord Vithala. So many people, lakhs of people visit to the temple at the Pandharpur, but everybody cannot put a matha on his foot. So he once given a drishtant that, so whatever may be the disabled are coming in the temple, collect the dust of their foots and put a bukka inside and put that in my side. So this is the, म्हणजे ज्या भाविक तिथे येतात त्यांच्या पायाची धूळ तिथे गोळा करा आणि त्या धुळीचं मला गंध लावीत जा, म्हणून त्या केशराच्या मध्ये तो काळा लावलेला असतो. इतका हा इन्क्लुझिव्ह देव आहे आणि म्हणून तो इन्क्लुझिव्हच्या थीमशी आपल्या या कॉन्फरन्समध्ये ठेवलेला आहे. कदाचित त्यावेळेलाही NEP 2020 इन्क्लुझिव्हचा तो तत्व त्यांच्या स्वतःच्या याच्यामध्ये आहे. Second thing is that our conference theme is lot many things will be taught here every day. Sir, we taught in a school which is the title as a Jivan Shikshan Mandir. And at that time there was a म्हणजे life education was given. And when we become a grown up and we entered in a service, lot many people in an industry or any other or in a we have only life and not education, and that's why the problem. तिथे जीवन शिक्षण मंदिर होतं, आता जीप झालं. पण त्यावेळेला तिथे जीवनाचं शिक्षण दिलं जायचं आणि आता आपण नोकरीला लागल्यानंतर फक्त जीवनच हे शिक्षण सोडून देतो आणि त्यामुळे हे प्रॉब्लेम आहेत. NEP 2020 is an excellent mission, I think, for this nation, which will really transform this nation and which we are expecting and realizing the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister that this country will be a developed country, Vikasit Bharat in 2047. आपसे तो आप ये ऐसा बैठ के सेमिनार करके कॉन्फ्रेंस करके तो नहीं होने वाला. फिर ये कैसे होगा? तो हर एक एवरीबडी who is part and parcel of higher education or any stage of education, it may be a preschool education or school education, everybody has to define his own role, that how I will contribute with the help of whatever may be the gadgets, whatever may be the environment, whatever may be the resources with me, and whatever may be the people with me. I will we will cooperate with them, collaborate with them, and create with them for the creation of or for the development of this nation. And multidisciplinary and everything. Atta तुम्ही if you visit to this gents toilet block, you cannot stand there because the two tiles, they haven't knowledge of how much is the shoulder of a gent people, and sitting we have to sit like that. So multidisciplinary, they have a knowledge of engineering, but they does not have a knowledge of human size. So this is the multidisciplinary. If you go to the tailor, if you get a, suppose myself and Palshikar sir had gone to the tailor, and we say that we want to stitch a jabba, तो कितना कपड़ा लगेगा? तो मुझे बोलेगा वो 2.25 मीटर में होगा, इनका तो लगेगा 3 मीटर में होगा. So he has that understanding about it. So that knowledge, it is not only the knowledge of cutting the cloth and stitching the cloth, but otherwise also the knowledge is needed. So every walk of life of we need a knowledge. Another important thing is that, see, we live in India. We say Bharat, and Madam had rightly said that this India and Bharat. So, but we live in every day. We have a lifestyle of a Bharat. Your food, your clothing, your festivals, your pray, dealing with the people. So everything is Bharatiya. But we say outside as an Indian, and now this NEP 2020 will really, we have a Bharatiya everything. So we had adopted everything. That's why topi or gamcha. So you have to adopt it every walk of life and every practice it in everyday life. So we are doing it, but in force also, in future also we have to do it. Then we can say that the NEP 2020 we are implementing. So my last word is that everybody who is listening on the virtual way or sitting here, we have to decide our own role of how to implement NEP 2020 as a part and parcel of this system, and also how we can contribute that the nation will be built in 2047, or we can give to this approach to the new generation who will, because who will build this country? He राष्ट्र कौन बनाएगा? तो next generation, and we have to create that generation with that attitude and with that values. Then only it is possible, unless we will have a 3-day 4-day conferences, number of conferences. So I hope that this conference will really deliberate on this issue and find out with the concrete way or roadmap or directives, so that we can have a clear-cut ideas about understanding our own role and creating the new generation which will really contribute to the develop this nation as a 2047. Thank you, Pawar sir. Thank you, Vanzari madam. Thank you, the CTEF team, because unless the CTEF has been approved to have a venue as a Ycmou, so we have so many friends. Patel sir has been just now around. Manoj is here, Gulani sir is here, and lot many people will join us within the two. All the stalwart from India who is teacher education. And madam, so Vanzari madam, तुम्ही जरी म्हटला असला की मला हा सत्कार वगैरे का केला, पण तुम्हाला माहित नाही, आमच्या दृष्टीने, सगळ्यांच्या दृष्टीने आमचा हा कौतुकाचा विषय आहे की आमची एक टीचर एज्युकेशन मधली एक प्रोफेसर, ती UGCची मेंबर आहे आणि भारतातल्या एका महत्वाच्या विद्यापीठाचं व्हाईस चान्सलरशिप करीत आहे. आणि आपण वायशेमेत सातत्याने येतात, त्याबद्दलही मी आपले आभार व्यक्त करतो. आपण सगळ्या जणांचं पुन्हा एकदा स्वागत करतो आणि थांबतो. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable guidance and your inspiring words to all of us on this occasion. Now we are coming for the vote of thanks. On behalf of ICMU, I would like to thank all the esteemed dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. I would like to thank all the participants of this conference and all the members of CTEF. I would also like to thank all the university authorities and all the staff members of this university who have taken efforts to make this event successful. Last, I would like to thank all those members who have directly or indirectly contributed to make this event successful. Thank you once again. And now I request everyone to please stand for Poseidon. Okay. Okay, it will do if you can sit on your places for Poseidon. I request the ABC team to please.
आता विश्वात्मके देवे येणे वाक्यमे तोषावे तोषो निमज जावे पसायदानवे जे खळांची व्यंकटी सांदो तया सत्कर्मी रती वाढो भूता परस्परे जडो मैत्र जीवाचे दुरितांचे तिमिर जावो विश्वस्वधर्म सूर्ये पाहो जो जे वांछील तो ते लाहो प्राणी जात वर्षत सकळ मंगळी ईश्वर निष्ठाची मांदियाळी अनवरत भूमंडळी भेट तू भूता चला कल्पतरूचे आरह चेतना चिंतामणीचे भाव बोलते जे अर्णव पीयूषांचे चंद्रमे जे अलांछन मार्तंड जे तापहीन ते सर्वाही सदा सज्जन सोयरे होती किंबहुना सर्व सुखी पूर्ण होवो नित्य लोकी भजितो आदि पुरुषी अखंडित आणि ग्रंथोपजीवी विशेषी लोके दृष्टा दृष्ट विजय हो आवे जी ये येणे बडे ज्ञान देवो सुखिया जाना सुखिया झाला सुखिया झाला
Thank you. Just a small announcement. A group photo will be taken at the entrance of academic building. So I request everyone to please. Lunch नंतर का? Okay, and now let us break for the lunch, and after the lunch break, group photo will be taken at Yashin. Thank you very much. Okay. The lunch has been arranged at Yashin Auditorium.